It's here, boys, it's here, it's time, our Codex! Wag! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast, old Big Mek here, and it's finally time! 10th edition Warhammer 40,000 Codex Orks is dropping next Saturday. We just got the preview from Warhammer Community, so let's get into it. All right, and here we go. Again, it is the preview for Sunday on April 7th, and there we go. Codex Orks are going to get the regular one, and of course the super premium special edition thing that they've been doing lately. So that is super exciting. Now, one thing they have told us is there is only going to be 51 data sheets. Now, interestingly enough, there's a little video that came with this article, and if you watch the video, they actually show you the table of contents page for Codex Orks, so we already know what the missing data sheets are. And, well, there's some biggies. First of all, Zagstruck, Mad Dog Grotznick, and Badruck are all gone. So 3 of our named characters, long-time named characters, heck, ones that are main characters in books, you know? How can you have Bad Moons be such a big part of the lore and not have their war boss anymore? But that's where we are. So lost a bunch of main characters. Unfortunately, pour one out for the Fortress because the Mech Boy Workshop is no more. As I predicted, that one became regular terrain. There is no more rule set for it. We also lost the Big Mek with custom force field. So now there is regular Big Mek, which is the new one, Big Mek with in Mega Armor, and Big Mek with Shock Attack Gun. Those are your 3 choices now. So Big Mek with custom force field replaced by regular Big Mek. Now, there was a couple of interesting things. One is tank busters are staying, which is really weird because the loadout is only what you can get in the stupid Finecast version of them. So, or at least it was. We don't know what the loadout is going to be in the Codex, but they tend to not want to do any kind of loadouts that aren't in the box anymore. So people were theorizing either we're going to get new tank busters or they were going to go away. We didn't get either. So interesting to see what that is actually going to say when the Codex drops and we can read it. But another interesting one is we lost Knob on Smash-A-Squig, and this was confirmed further down with the new Combat Patrol. So we're actually going to skip past the big Battle Force box here real quick and go to the Combat Patrol. This is the new Combat Patrol for Orks, and as predicted, as everybody assumed it was going to be, it is indeed Beast Nagas. And like I thought, we ended up with Beast Boss on foot. The Beast Boss on Squigosaur is just too big of a model, both physically and points-wise, to be in Combat Patrol, so this makes sense. You're also getting 20 Beast Naga boys, and the good old-fashioned Squighog boy set there that has the knob on Smash-A-Squig. Here's where it gets interesting. It says 4 Squighog boys. And again, the knob on Smash-A-Squig is no longer on the index of data sheets. So what's happened is they have rolled the knob on Smash-A-Squig into the squad of Squighog boys. So now he's probably just going to be a Squighog boy knob. He's not going to be a standalone character anymore, which means that the size of those units, instead of being the 3 to 6 that they are now, is likely going to shrink down to just 4. Because they aren't going to want you to buy 2 boxes because you can't turn the knob into a regular Squighog boy. He is a very different looking model. So, yeah, that unit definitely got kind of whacked. Moving on, they show us, of course, get the data sheets and some dice. The dice are actually fairly good looking for once, and then they get into some other stuff that we'll talk about in another video. We are only focused on Orks today. So, yeah, this is going to be the new Combat Patrol. Interestingly, it pairs nicely with the Beast Naga Stampede Battle Force box that came out over the holidays. However, it pairs terribly with the Battle Force that they are releasing right now with the Codex, which of course is the Stompa Boys, which has 10 of the new Monopose boys in it, a truck, 10 Burnas/Ludas, the new Big Mek model, and a Stompa. So where does that put Ork players? Well, like I said, hopefully all of you went out and bought the old Combat Patrol because it was such a good deal. That old Combat Patrol with the new Battle Force with the Stompy Boys actually pairs together really, really well, even with our current rule set in the index. Looking at the Codex, it might be even better. So that is a really good thing. If you have that old Combat Patrol and you don't have a Stompa yet, definitely think about the Stompa Boys. Even if you do have a Stompa, I mean, I've got one, and even I'm thinking like, you know what, I could use a second Stompa. You know, it's a good box. It's a really good box. Now, if you got the old Battle Force, the one from the holidays, getting the new Combat Patrol actually works really well with it. That Battle Force was light on Beast Snagga Boys. There were only 10 Beast Snagga Boys in it. That's only one squad of them. It's not very many. So getting some extras is definitely going to help. So getting 2 more 10-man squads, or, you know, combining it up to make a 20-man squad to be led by the Pain Boss that came in that kit could be a really good deal. And of course, getting another squad of the Squig Hog Boys, always a good go. And again, the only thing missing from that kit that was in the Beast Snagga line was the Beast Boss on foot. So if you get the Combat Patrol, you combine it with that, you're actually looking really, really good. Now, if you had the old Beast Snagga Army box that got released way back in 8th edition when they came out, I'm not even sure anymore, to be honest with you, but you know what I'm talking about, the old Beast Snagga Army box set that had Zogrod Wart Snagga in it. It still combines well, because that's what I did for my army. That gave me 20 more Beast Snagga Boys, a whole other squad of the Squig Hog Boys, and a second Beast Boss on Squigosaur. So that's what my army consists of now. And so even for me, already having 30 Beast Snaggas, getting 20 more in the Combat Patrol, not that bad of a deal. You can run 6 squads of them, so you know, if you end up with 60 of them, you're still doing all right. So yeah, if you're into the Beast Snaggas, it's definitely a good box to pick up. Now, if you're new to Orcs, if you're not, you know, sure about Beast Snaggas and stuff like that, let me remind you that there are no clan locks anymore. Back in the day, you used to have clans, right? You'd have Bad Moons or Goths or, you know, Death Skulls or whatnot. And people kind of got this narrow mentality that Beast Snaggas had to be all old school Orcs, that they had to be snake bites only, and it couldn't be further from the truth. They are not just the old ways. If you look at the models, I've done a number of videos on them building my army up. There are so many different cybernetic, cyborg parts, right? Mechanical legs, mechanical arms, spines made of metal. These are not just feral orcs. You can't just take, you know, old world bone splitters and stuff like that and say, oh, they're Beast Snaggas. No, that's not what they look like. Go look at them in person. Heck, half the Squigs have wheels instead of legs, okay? Just because they're called Beast Snaggas doesn't mean that all they do is fight beasts. They specifically hunt monsters and vehicles. If you look at the models, they have lots of mechanical parts. They have lots of 40K tech on them. They're a really cool looking model if you give them a chance. Now, as far as on the battlefield goes, they are fantastic. And that's one thing that I still have a beef with the new Codex. They did show us the data sheet for Ghazghkull, Mag Uruk Thraka, and Makari. And unfortunately, Ghazghkull is still toughness 6, which is actually less than the Squig Hog Boys, which are toughness 7, or at least they were in the index. Frankly, it's a travesty. It's a travesty that the biggest, baddest orc to ever live is such a just bleh on the tabletop. He really doesn't have any presence. His rules aren't that great. Don't know what else to say about it. Obviously, we need to get the Codex. We need to get the whole thing and really see how everything works. And who knows what kind of tricks he could have up his sleeve thanks to Mork. But looking at the Gork side, not doing so good. So yeah, that's everything on our first look of Orcs for 10th edition 40K, coming out with the Codex, the new Battle Force, the new Combat Patrol, some of the things that we've learned already with data sheets to see what's coming down the pike. Now, I know the first thing everyone's going to say when they see this is they're going to go, what about all the Forge World stuff? Where's Grot Tanks? Forge World stuff is never in the Codexes. The Forge World stuff is always on its own in the Imperial armor and things like that. They are never a part of the Codex. So, like, just forget that right now to start with, okay? We don't know what's happening with any of the Forge World stuff because it's not a part of the Codex. It's not part of the data cards. They are their own thing. So leave that lie. So again, the ones that we do know for sure are gone is the Nabon Smash the Squig got rolled into the Squig Hog Boys. We know that the Mech Boy Workshop is gone and is now relegated to being a piece of terrain. And we know that we have lost 3 named characters. Zagstruck, Badruck, and Mad Doc Rotsnick are all gone to the ways of legends. And we also know that the new Big Mek model has replaced Big Mek with custom force field. So I'm sure you'll still have access to a custom force field. That's just not the name of the unit anymore. And frankly, this guy is a lot bigger, and the old Big Meks with custom force field are kind of dinky. So, you know, decent change there, I would think. But yeah, that's where we're at with data sheets. That's where we're going in the future. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Enough waffling about here by old Big Mek. If you like what you saw, definitely hit some buttons and subscribe and things like that. Definitely think about coming over to our Discord to talk to us there. It's completely free. There's a link in the description below. We broke that news as soon as it came out this morning, and we've had a huge conversation already. That's actually where a lot of this information has come from already, is people noticing certain things, you know, like the whole Squig Hog Boy stuff. And yeah, so if you want to be on the cutting edge Ork technology or any other army, really, we have sections for absolutely everything. It is a fantastic community. Come on over. There's also ways to support the channel even more so. We've got our merch sales, such as the Red Ones Go Fast shirt, or Red Squig stickers, and all that good stuff, linked down below, as well as supporting me on Patreon. Of course, huge thanks, as always, to my patrons. Without you, this channel couldn't be happening in the way that it is happening. So let me know what you think about the new Ork releases down in the comments below. Is there anything else that you've seen that old Big Mek has missed? You know, what do you think? Are you getting the Battle Force? Are you getting the Combat Patrol? Are you getting both? What are you excited about? What are you bummed about? Let's have a great conversation about it, because it's time to be green, and it is good to be green, guys. All right, until next time. Wallagan!